Hello Mr. Randy Duck and welcome back for another video. Today I have two replays to show you in the Tier 8 Soviet Tech Tree medium tank, the Object 146. This first replay is a Tier 10 matchmaking where we are platooned up with our good pal Swindle 321 in the Scorpion G. There is one enemy light tank and two enemy artillery pieces. I free marked this tank a long time ago, and I suddenly just had an urge just to buy it back and play it. So I did that and played some games in it, and I've got these two replays to show you. But I've had so much fun in this tank. It's basically an incredibly stealthy medium. I've got the concealment value down to 184, which means you can get into some really silly positions and not actually get detected. And you can basically outspot the enemy team. And then it's got this fantastic DPM gun. You've got 320 alpha. With brilliant reload, 221 penetration on your standard AP rounds, and then 330 heat pen, which will allow you to pen pretty much any tank you need to pen in the game. And what we're doing so far on this Aussie map, like I say, you can play this tank almost like a mobile tank destroyer at times, because it's so stealthy and you can just let that gun just go to work. But as you can see, there's an enemy medium and an enemy light tank. One's an enemy brass, so it's basically another light tank. I've pushed up really aggressively underneath the ridge. It's a little bit awkward because I can't really go too close without potentially getting proxy spotted if they get too close to us. And I don't really want to get detected there with the two artillery in the game. So I'm going to try to move to a position where I can hopefully mainly just try and keep a bit of vision for our friendly team. As you see, we don't have a lot of vision, a lot of eyes and the 1-2 line. I don't want to get trapped. I want these tanks to get spotted coming in so I can pick up them assistance and just try and keep this flank under control. Because I don't have a lot of support there necessarily, but I do have a lot of tank destroyers on the ridge. So if I'm able to spot them before they come in, then I can try and pick up some assistance. But you can see I couldn't quite find a good position to get vision over there because I'm so low profile. So I was trying to pull back, and at this point I'm just trying to figure out what to do in this map here. It's still pretty even. But really, ideally, I want that sort of light tank who's under the ridge to get taken out, which he has. But I think the enemy brass is still there, and they're a bit of a nuisance for me being there. I mean, I had a bit of a slow start to this game. I've got a kill. I've actually managed to pick up one kill with my first pen, but I haven't really got a lot else so far. And we are bottom tiers as well. But like I said, I'm going to just try and go and get some vision because there is no vision on this side of the map, and I'm probably the only tank who's able to go and do that, because our light tank is sort of spotting the other side of the map with our tanks on the hill, which we do look like we've won the hill, but I'm just trying to keep the vision. You see, I do detect some tanks coming in. I'm going to try and pull back in this bush. I'm not going to fire my gun right now because you can see there's that enemy medium tank to my left. I don't want to get detected. I just want to maintain vision for my team and hope that I will pick up some assistance damage from my covering tank destroyers. The enemy brass gets taken out on the low ground to my left. That's really good news for me because that allows me now to move up to a position I couldn't actually necessarily use before. We get a shot into enemy tank destroyer. See, we don't get detected because the concealment is just so good on this tank. And now we're pulling into a sort of slightly more further forward bush where we can keep this enemy E4 there detected. I'm getting nice shots into him. Now, the E4, if he's looking, he could probably work out what bush I'm in, so I've got to be a little bit careful. I don't want him to just blind fire me, and then obviously, being a Soviet tank, there's a good chance I could get set on fire if he shoots the front of this tank, which does happen quite a lot, but thankfully, for a lot of the time, I'm not spotted, so that's not so much of a problem. We have managed to pick up 1,000 spotting assistance now and 1,000 damage of our own, and this is going to be a game of patience. To be honest with you, it's 9 versus 9, so it's very, very close, and I do have to be incredibly patient in this game because I know there are tanks to my right hand side. If I get detected where I am really a sitting duck. If I get spotted, the E4 is going to be able to shoot me, and anything on the back of their map is probably going to have shots if they are in render. So got to be a little bit careful. But I am picking assistance on the tanks I'm now spotted. The enemy E4, actually, who was on the ridge, just where our light tank was earlier, has just been taken out, which is good. I am considering now moving further forward so I can try and extend my view range, because it looks like the enemy tanks down this 1-2 line are not pushing in. And I'm going to try and take the centre of the map. You know, this is something you can't really get away with in other tanks unless you're in a light tank or a tank which just has this good concealment. And I'm going to push forward to extend my view range to the maximum, just try and spot some tanks. Looking to try and get a shot into that enemy TD, but now this enemy T95 Doom Turtle gets spotted. And I'm hoping that we've still got one enemy artillery left on our team, that he may actually be able to put some shots into this T95. Obviously, it's quite a big target to aim at. And I need this T95 to get taken out. He does take a big slap there, putting him onto 700 hit points. You know, I have shots at the T95 I could shoot here. I'm opting not to, just in case. Obviously, when you do fire your gun, if you didn't know, you obviously lose concealment value. So then I'll be more likely to be detected. So I'm not shooting my gun right now because I don't want to, risk the chance of me getting spotted, while I'm this far forward. But I'm in a good position right now because I'm keeping a lot of the map detected. No one can cross this middle or the right hand side without me spotting them, and this T95 I'm just keeping permanently lit here, and every second he remains detected there's a chance that our friendly artillery can shoot him, take him out, and that will allow me to try and move further forward, because it's still very, very even at this point, 8 versus 8. There's still quite a few tier 10s left in this matchmaking right now, so I'm just hoping that this T95 gets taken out. I'm just really, I'm waiting for our artillery to shoot. I think at the moment our artillery, it is the French auto-loading artillery, so he's probably on reload right now, because I don't see any other reason why he wouldn't be shooting at the T95. There you go, he is now shooting at the T95. It is the only tank detected. Unfortunately, he doesn't hit that shot, but we do spot a tank destroyer on our right-hand side as well, which I could potentially pick up some assistance for as well if we're lucky. Looks like the artillery is trying to go for that T95 there on the left. Enemy S-Bahn actually takes out our... our enemy... I think it's that enemy artillery actually kills our artillery, which is not ideal, because now we don't have anything to shoot this T95. Our friend Swindle 3-1 gets taken out. Now that puts us in a 6 versus 7, and this game is looking a little bit worse for wear, because it looks like we've actually lost the hill location now, and an enemy tank destroyer is dead in front of me, but I can't really move, and I don't really want to move. Like I said, this is what it means. I have to be patient, because I'm just trying to wait for tanks to come in. Now this T95 is making an aggressive move, but you can see he's just not going to, my concealment's so good. He's 241 meters away. I'm in a bush and he's not detecting me. I'm trying to not move. I don't want to move my tanks. I don't want to, obviously when you move your tank, unless you're in a light tank, you also lose concealment value, which is why I run the silent driving perk on this tank to lose less concealment when you move, which is obviously a really useful tank crew equipment to use on a stealthy medium. Now the T95 is taking shots coming in. He is on a one shot. I could potentially finish him off with one shot here. I'm pre-aimed him just in case I do get detected. If I get detected, then I'm going to want to finish him off. I probably should load the heat shells just in case he actually turns frontally to us. But that's not happening right now. I'm just praying that this tank gets taken out. The second this T95 gets taken out, it's left an area for me to move into, because I can probably move to where that T95 was, get up into those bushes, and then I'm going to be able to extend my view range and potentially look for shots. Thankfully for me, the T95 does get taken out. The enemy artillery does get spotted as well. I'm looking to actually put a shot into that enemy artillery. We do. Landed on only our 4th shot of damage in this game. Like I say, it has been a game where I've had to be incredibly patient, but I kind of needed to, just to keep that vision. If I would have done something early, like if I would have shot that T95 when I had opportunities to shoot him, I probably would have got spotted, and then I probably would have just died in a split second, because you can see there was the big tank destroyers looking this way. So thankfully that didn't happen. Obviously the enemy light tank on the other team was killed, so there wasn't much chance of tanks detecting me in that area, unless they got very, very close to me, or if I made a mistake. But you can see now the T95 is taken out. He's left a little hole for me to go into. He's left me an area in the map to go into. And now I've got 3 farms onto this enemy E4. And hopefully I should be able to finish him off here before he gets out. I do manage to pick up that kill before he escapes. Picking up our second kill of the game, putting us on to 1,600 damage and 3,300 assistance, with 5 tanks remaining. I think there was an enemy Jag Tiger from memory on the left hand side, from where I am located now. If he's still alive, that's where his last known location was. We spot an enemy tank destroyer crossing. We also spotted enemy artillery. Going to try and get a shot into the enemy T-92, and then we're going to see if we can work a shot into this enemy tank destroyer. Do have a slim shot which we managed to pen, picking up 2,300 damage now with 3,000 assistance. And again, still very, very close. A lot of our tanks are either on the back of, or coming up to the hill, so they won't really have shots at anything I detect right now until they've sort of either won the hill or the other tank destroyer on our team's moved a little bit closer. I am going to try and move forward to see if we can spot this enemy artillery and just take him out of the game. We do detect him. I'm going to just drive back before we fire, so we're behind that bush, so I had a bit more concealment value shooting through the bush, so less likely to get detected. We actually then spot another enemy tank destroyer to our left, but we're going to try and deal with this T-95 first, and just, he's about a free shot to us. We get one shot in, but then he gets behind the cover, making it very difficult for us to take that tank out. But at least keeping them detected, then it means they probably have to hide, get behind cover, and less likely to get shots into our team. Enemy tank destroyer, the object 268-5, gets taken out, leaving us just this enemy Jag Tiger, which is on the hill, and the 2 enemy Fun Polices less in the game. I'm going to try and just deal with the enemy artillery. See, I could go around and kill this artillery on the left. The problem, if I do that and I get detected, the T-95 will probably look to try and get shots into us. So I really need to kill this enemy T-95 first, and then I can go and deal with the other artillery. We put him onto a one-shot, but again, he's behind cover now, so we don't quite have shots into him. It's now in a 4 versus 2. It's looking like we probably won this game, it's safe to say. I just need to try and kill this enemy artillery, and then I can go and deal with the other one. Unfortunately, I missed. I say all the hit points is behind me, so I really want to go and kill the tank with the hit points. I just didn't want to get taken out by this T-95 who's looking to kill me, so I want to try and finish him off first. We do manage to get that shot in, picking up the kill, and now we're going to try and make our way to deal with this other enemy artillery if we can get there in time. But chances are he's going to get taken out by a friendly team, which he does. And that brings us then to replay number 1, with one more replay to come. So let's just see how we finish that one off. We get 3 kills, 3,073 damage, 3,200 assistance, and the ace tanker. Also, I've had much bigger games in this tank, but it was a bottom tier game, so I thought I'd share that one, and it just kind of shows a different element to being a little bit more patient in the gameplay. And that's it for replay number 1, but let's move on to the second and final replay. Okay, so here we are for replay number 2 on Nomenom. This time it is tier 9 matchmaking, so we're kind of middle tier. There's 2 enemy artillery again, and there's 3 enemy light tanks. But kind of unlike the first replay I showed you, this second replay I'm going to be more aggressive than I was in the previous replay, and it kind of focus around getting more damage necessary more than the assistance. So at first point of call, we are going to try and get across the map as quickly as we possibly can. Like you say, you do have good mobility on this tank. I think you've got a top speed of 50 kilometers an hour, so you can travel around the map fairly well and sort of rotate to sort of different locations to try and get some damage in. But at the first point of call, I wanted to try and spot the enemy tanks on the ridge behind us. But there is an enemy light tank who's playing very, very aggressively, an enemy top tier T-49. I don't actually know what gun he's running right now. It looks like he's not running the dirt, which is very useful to know. Unfortunately, I fluffed that shot into him. I would like to try and take out that tank as quickly as I can. You don't have the fantastic shell velocity on this tank. I think both rounds are 895 shell velocity, so you do have to lead your shells somewhat to make sure you hit them. But I'm just trying to focus out this enemy light tank because he's just a bit of a problem for me. Again, unfortunately, I missed that shot. Probably should have led that a little bit better than I did. And the enemy artillery is immediately looking at our location. So got to be careful that I don't go up and get shot by artillery. I can use those rocks on the right hand side. If I stay close to those, it's going to limit the chance that the artillery can shoot me. This time the light comes around, I do manage to hit our first shot, rolling for 307. Put him onto a 2-shot. I mean, he's got a death wish, this light tank. He is driving straight into our spawn. In theory, he shouldn't really be able to come out of that situation unscathed. There should really be no way he gets taken out, but he is still alive. and it's a bit of a nuisance for us. I just kind of want to just get rid of this tank as quickly as we can so we can just get on with the game. I'm not actually detecting anything here. I'm also not getting spotted, which is weird. I know there will be tanks on the right hand side, on the ridges covering, which I want to try and see if we can deal with. I think it's all gone a bit weird with the enemy light tank pushing into our base. It's like 2 enemy light tanks have now pushed into our base, and we are actually losing this game. One of these enemy light tanks here, this British light tank, is driving around like a nutcase as well. We put 1 shot into that, putting them onto a 2 shot to us. If we can get rid of these pesty light tanks, then it's going to make our life a lot easier. Enemy 87 gets spotted. Now I should be able to pen the cupola of this tank. I have very, very slim shots at the cupola. Unfortunately, I bounced that shot. I think, I probably could just aimed that a little bit better. Now I'm actually going to shoot the cupola up. We can start picking up the damage. And whilst this damage is here, this 87 is going to stay there, then I am going to pick up the damage and we pick up our first kill of the game. Now this enemy light tank coming in. Because it looks like he's actually just going to full send us here. Like again, just driving a bit like a nutcase. But thankfully we actually get a shot in. We don't pen, but we track him in place. And that gets rid of one of the pesty lights, which is actually one of the tier 9 tanks. So that's nice that we've taken out not only one of the top tier tanks, but one of the light tanks as well. And if those light tanks die, it makes, even more so when you're in another stealthy tank, it makes your game a lot easier, because you're then going to be able to out-spot all the tanks. And then if I'm able to farm tanks without getting detected, that's going to be really, really good for us. So I'm pushing quite high and aggressively on this ridge. I'm just trying to spot the stuff in the back. We are losing this game now. It's 10 versus 12. Like I say, it's a bit strange. Normally I would have detected more stuff on the ridge in the back of the map. It's kind of played out a little bit differently than it normally does. And I'm going to try and play a position where I can just see if we can just push off this enemy Dragon. And it looks like that Dragon is going to go and kill our friendly light tank, who is now in the enemy base. And I'm thinking, whilst he's distracted, trying to kill our friendly light tank, that might give us an opportunity to kill the Dragon, which would be handy for us, because quite a few of the enemy team are now pushing through to our base. So I'm going to climb and see if we can kill this Dragon. I know the Dragon has dropped down trying to kill our light tank. Well, I suspect he has. He definitely has now. We just detected him. I'm going to see if we can get shots into that Dragon. But as we do that, we notice that there are tanks behind us where we'll potentially have shots. This Dragon is a 3 shot to us. We land 1 shot in, put him into a 2 shot. We do get detected for it, but nothing's targeting us yet. We're going to try and get a 2nd shot in. We push that Dragon on a 1 shot. We're then going to try and pull back so he can't shoot us. But I think tanks behind us here are potentially looking for shots into us. So we're just trying to move and dodge this while we lose our spot. Thankfully we lose our spot. Now this 87 is in the open to us, and we're going to try and deal with this 87 so we don't have to worry about getting shot in the rear. Get a nice shot into him, putting us onto 2,000 damage. He's kind of stuck where he's trying to look for the tanks in front of him, but also just getting farmed by myself. And at this point, I don't think this 87, if the 87 stays lit, then he's not going to escape. He's unlikely to escape before he gets taken out. He does get finished off by a friendly T95. That puts us on to 3,000 damage. Again, though, still a close game. Looking to try and get a shot into the Borsig. Obviously if I had HE, I could have picked up more damage there, but I don't run HE in this tank only because it doesn't actually carry that much ammo. And I've had a lot of games where I have run out of ammo. I've been having a really good game, but I've just run out of ammo, which is always a shame when you kind of limit the potential damage of the game by the concealment values. And say, playing risky here because I know there's tanks behind us looking for shots. You can see the shots coming in, but I'm just trying to deal with these Borsigs, and then I can just turn around and defend our base. That Borsig now, I believe, is onto a 1 shot. I don't want to take that chance again of shooting where I was, because I'm concerned that I'm pushing my luck already with not eating damage that way. Enemy artillery gets spotted. Can't quite find a shot into that artillery there. Dragon's a 1 shot. Enemy light tank in the middle gets spotted. This is what was probably shooting at us earlier. We get a nice shot in to put in that light tank onto a 2 shot, putting us onto 3,600 damage. And I'm just scanning around to see what tanks have potential shots at us. I think that Borsig got taken out. I'm not so sure now. I can't quite remember if that Borsig get taken out. He has got taken out, and it's just the enemy Tortoise. I'm going to try and finish off this light tank, put a nice shot in, trying to help out our friendly light tank. Looks like this light tank has fired at least 2 shots I've seen. There's a good chance he's on reload. I'm going to go in and try and finish him off. We do, putting us into 4,000 damage with 2 kills and only 4 enemy tanks remaining now. There's enemy tortoise in the low ground. If we can take care of this enemy artillery piece, we can then deal with that enemy tortoise. We get 1 shot into the artillery. Obviously that artillery does have a turret, so we need to be careful that we don't get shotgunned by the artillery, because we're still full health at this point, but this tank does have a tendency that when it does get shot to get set on fire, so that's something to bear in mind. Enemy artillery is leaving. We get 1 shot in there, puts the artillery onto a 1 shot. We've also got rear shots at this enemy tortoise. Trying to work out what's targeting me, because I don't think that tortoise is actually looking at me, so I don't think it was that. I'm guessing it was just the artillery when it was across, kind of registered as being targeted. Now we're going to try and farm this tortoise. We put 1 shot in, put him onto a 1 shot. We don't get detected, and now we're going to try and finish him off and get a shot through his cupola, which we do, picking up our 3rd kill of the game, putting us onto 5,000 damage with 2 enemy tanks remaining. I think they are both tier 9 heavy tanks remaining, so we can outspot these heavy tanks, and we'll be able to catch up with them as well, because of our mobility. And at this point I have no idea the hit point pool left on these tanks. I'm hoping that they're fairly healthy, because if they are fairly healthy we can go on and pick up quite a chunk of damage left. But it looks like they are, there's one shot ST2-2, is it, or ST2-1? And then you've got the enemy French heavy tank, which is a 1,000 hit points. Yeah, I think it's about 1,000 hit points left. I'm going to get there first by the looks of it, unless our friendly light tank comes. My plan is just to go behind them, because I think they're just going to be travelling towards our base. So I'm hoping I can just go round, kill the 1-shot Soviet heavy tank, and then we can try and deal with the enemy French heavy tank. And like I said, we do have all hit points, so we can eat a shot or 2, which is always handy to try and rack up that extra bit of damage. And we've got 18 pens so far, 5,000 damage, 500 assistance and 3 kills. So we are having a good game. It'd be nice to top it off with a little bit more damage if we could. So as you can see, we can see the Soviet heavy tank. We're just trying to come out wide so we can get a shot in here. We do have a shot, just trying to pull the trigger, so we pick up that kill, and we do confirm our 4th kill of the game, with this 1 French heavy tank left. Looking like we're probably going to win this game. I can afford to eat a shot or 2 off of this French tank unless I get set on fire or get very, very unlucky. We've got the heat shells loaded, because it's going to be probably going to need it. That shot was just a chance, that one. I didn't think it was going to hit. I wanted to really get there before our team get there, because I selfishly want to get the rest of this damage. You know, I've had a good game, I'm putting in a lot of work. I feel like I just want to get that extra damage just to try and, you know, top it off. If I can get another 2 shots into this tank, it you know, to try and get myself to about 6,000, then we'll be going after a really good game. He's crossing up. We do have an opportunity to get a shot in. If he keeps driving, we should be able to get a shot. He shows us his lower plate, and we squeeze one in, putting him onto a 1 shot. Putting us onto 4 kills, 5,700 damage. We're just going to stay here. We'll eat that shot so we can try and pen him and get the kill. Unfortunately, we don't bounce. So we bounce, but we might be able to reload and squeeze the shot in. And we do. Bring this into that game. I only had 4 shots left actually remaining. And let's just see how we got on. We managed to get 5 kills, 6,000 damage, 2,200 base XP. So it should be enough for the ace tanker and the high caliber. And that is it for the video. So if you do like what you see, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. If not, happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!